Hello and very warm welcome, dear students, faculty members, and my audience all over the world. This is Professor Dr. Ahmed, and today I am going to talk about the latest novel by Mohsin Hamid, and the title of the novel is Last Whiteman. This novel should be discussed in many ways, but in today's video, we shall be talking only one aspect of this novel, and that is the kind of resistance that is offered by the post-colonial narratives. And this resistance comes associated with the racialist attitudes faced by the Pakistani and other diaspora in the foreign countries, foreign lands, especially that of America, UK, and the lands inhabited by the white race. The novel's basic theme is that if racialized America would look at itself and possibly because of any metamorphosis or because of any magical realism, someday the skin tone of the white Americans begins to change into brown. What would be then left to talk about this kind of thing, which is called superiority of the race because of the skin color? And that is the basic idea with which Mohsin Hamid possibly thought in the framework of a person who is residing inside USA and facing some racialism or some type of racialism against him. And this directly connects with the post-colonial theory as well, because the concept of us and other, that is also there. On the basis of this skin tone, the people who are not white in color can be othered, and the people who are white in tone can be grouped into the group which is most of the time termed as us, as is pointed out by Robert Young in his essay, What is Postcolonial? These things have been all the time available in this world. The differences of the skin tone, differences of the land you belong to, differences of the language which you speak, and the differences of the power of science's technology, which probably one group of human being has and the other group of human beings do not have. So on these bases, the world has been divided. Even today, the world is divided because of the modern technology. The one who possess this modern technology and those who do not possess this modern technology, and access to internet and the other sources of the modern technology, access to food, generating of the food. So these are some of the binary oppositions because of which post-colonial theory intervenes everywhere, and it relives itself as soon as something like that develops, where the grouping or the divide takes place. So in this novel also, that divide has been dismantled, that has been smashed to the ground by making some of the people turn into the brown skin instead of the white skin. In the novel, we see Anders is the hero of the novel, the protagonist of the novel. One day when he gets up, he finds out that in the mirror somebody different is standing before him, because altogether his skin tone is changed. He's brown, he's unable to recognize himself. He says there is another person standing in the mirror, and he is thinking himself to be one of the part of the white race. And as a result, this is the start of that very magic which begins to turn these white people into brown. He visits various places, for example, his gym, for example, his office, for example, the streets, for example, the markets, and there the people sometimes show their embarrassment that what is being done with him, and sometimes totally ignore him because he's no more looking like them. And in the same way, he finds a number of other people who are turning into. One of the people is Una, is his friend possibly, and his mother, his father, Una's mother and father. All these people are connected because of these two people, Anders and Una. And they are the onlookers, they are the observers who think about what is happening around them. The situation does not stop here. It scatters, it spreads itself in the shape that the people begin to feel jealousy with the other people who are still white. And the white people begin to feel that these people who are turning into brown, these are somehow out of their group, so that is why they should be killed, they should be removed, and there should be no connection between them. So there is a kind of disturbance taking place. Government imposes bans, or government tries to stop that, but it is unstoppable. And as a result, what is happening, the people are again divided on the massive level, on the massive scale, and one can feel that there's a kind of animosity existing between the white people and the people who are turning brown. So the brown people become the part of the so-called others instead of remaining the part of the so-called us. So in this way, as Edward Said would suggest, that the assumption with itself, dismantling itself by making the people turn into the skin tone, which possibly they didn't have. So in that way, the writer has tried to convey the message that this is the dream of every person residing there, especially the person who belongs to the formerly colonized areas, and that person's wish is that this racial thing should finish at all. The people should not be discriminated on the basis of color, on the basis of these things. So through a magic wand, Mohsin Hamid has given us a message that okay, this is the case. If this happens, what will be the result next time? Now, because of all this situation, frustration occurs, the fights occurs, the kind of disappointments occur, and we can see that Una, who is the protagonist, the female protagonist in the story, is never leaving Anders. Though she knows what is happening, she is aware of all that, she remains stuck to him. And this thing is 100% different from the kind of the behavior that was shown by Erica in the novel by Mohsin Hamid, the reluctant fundamentalist, that Erica was made by him to drown instead of becoming the part of the life of the brown man. But here we see that once a white man is turned into brown, Una is not leaving him at all. So that is the development, that's the change which possibly Mohsin Hamid has been undergoing. Mohsin Hamid, for example, talks in one of his interviews that his novels are most of the time his own thinking, and his thinking is there. He continuously thinks that if this thing happens or that thing happens, what would be the result? And as a result, here is the kind of thing that we are witnessing at this moment, that if the white race begins to turn because of certain metamorphosis into the brown, what would be the future of this divide us and the other? So when we see this novel, this narrative, this story in this context, in this lens, we come to know that it's post-colonial resistance, as we know all the time that post-colonial theory largely depends on the intervention which is made on the part of the colonizer, and the resistance which is made on the part of the colonized. The same thing is being done here, that by showing a narrative where the possibility of resistance the writer is trying to show is possibly there, and because of that, the change in whole of the scenario can occur. This can also be therefore called the dream of every post-colonial subject, because he would also like to have the similar authority, similar power, and similar kind of superiority if he possibly is having the skin like that. So therefore, the novel gives a very strong message on the part of the diaspora who was living there, that what kind of difficulties they face, what are the troubles they have been having because of this skin tone, the difference between the skin tone, and what is the wish of that person who is living there. So this is, dear audience, just one of the aspects of the novel. This novel can be debated in a number of ways, and I am the one who will be putting short videos in this regard by letting my students know what are different ways to analyze this text. So far, I'm stopping this video here. Thank you for watching, and if you have understood anything out of that, if you like this video, do not fail to hit the subscribe button as well as the like button. Hope to see you in some next video. Your queries can also be answered sometime, but if you only put it up. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you in some next video.